this season, man, one of the things I said about this season so far, I'm gonna be talking about episode 5, obviously, but for the first 4 episodes, one of the things I was talking about was the fact that I feel like they want to end this shit so bad that they're just cramming stuff together. They're just throwing scenes together, so on and so forth. A lot of complaints, man. And honestly, this episode was fucking fire. Listen, man, if you don't want spoilers, get the fuck out of this post right now. If you don't want spoilers, turn this video off immediately, quickly and expeditiously, because I'm spoiling some shit in this episode. I gotta talk about it. Man. This shit is so bad. I wanted to see this episode so bad. I saw the one clip with Reg and Jake, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second because that was a great fucking scene. But I wanted to see this shit so bad. I was like, all right, if I'm up after midnight, which I don't think I was like, I'm gonna watch it. But this shit was so bad I couldn't wait till I got home off work. I watched this shit at work, and I was just telling my man Sam, I was like, this shit reminded me of what I loved about the show to begin with, man. It's not just so much the drama, but it's the heartfelt moments. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of those relationship bonding moments in this series, man. This is the best episode we've gotten so far, and like I said, it's only 5 episodes in, but this is the best episode I've seen of the 5. Again, if you don't want spoilers, turn this shit off now, because especially that ending, I'm gonna try to save the ending for the end, but god damn, man, there is a really amazing scene that hit home for me, where Emmett catches Devontae, his son. He's on the phone, he's watching a Animal Planet or some shit, and Emmett's just kind of looking at him, and then he looks over at his phone and he's like, yo, what you watching? Devontae ends up watching porn, so he ends up telling Keisha about it. They have a little conversation about it, and then he ends up having, a lot of times I feel like scenes will drag out unnecessarily, but this is one of the scenes that drags out for all the right reasons. Emmett has the talk, the birds and the bees talk with his son, his 12-year-old son, and it is so amazing to watch. And I think I said it before, I'll say it again, man. Emmett has the best character development out of everybody in this entire show, man. To see him go from what he once was to the man that he is now is amazing to watch on screen. So him having that sex talk with his son, it almost got annoying for me, because everything that he said to Devontae had a question for it afterwards. But you got to understand, that's how kids are, man. They're sponges. They want to take in all of this information that they can, and they want to apply it where need be. In Emmett's case, he doesn't want him to move too fast, but he had a talk, and every question that Devontae had, he had an answer for it in the best way that he could, man. And it hit home for me, because I feel like by the time my pop tried to have the talk with me when I was 14, bro, you're too late. I ain't gonna put a whole bunch of transparency out there, but then it's and by the time my stepdad and my stepmom had to talk with me, I'm like, yo, you're too late. I'm already familiar. You know what I'm saying? But for him to actually have that conversation with his son was really amazing to see, man. It was a great moment of growth. It was a great moment of bonding. He had to let him know, just because he didn't make things work with his mom, that he doesn't regret having him as a son, or his siblings and all of that. It was just amazing to watch. I might bounce around a little bit, man. If I could stick with Emmett for a second, he proposed to Keisha. Man, and I got a little choked up. I did. I'm listening to their whole dialogue back and forth, especially his, when he was proposing to her and just telling her everything from the beginning, how it was always supposed to be them, and what he always pictured for them, and how much he appreciates her. I was like, god damn, man, I gotta get my speech together. I gotta get my shit together for when that day comes for me, because I'm like, yo, that shit was amazing, man. He had a whole setup and had all these decorations and lights set up for her. Darnell and Wendy Raquel Robinson, I can never remember her name, and they took the kids out to a Chuck E. Cheese or Dave and Buster type of thing. That was a really amazing moment, because they kind of had he had his granddad moment and brought his girlfriend, and she, they established the fact that she doesn't want to replace Jada, but she's like, I'm really grateful for being a part of this family. And Keisha's like, you're a great addition. That was really decent, man. I love that because they're not letting her character be forced into this. I feel like Dre's character was forced into Keisha, Kevin, Nina, their whole dynamic. Dre just felt so forced. I know a lot of y'all were on my ass about it in the comments. I don't really care. Like, I respect y'all opinions and all of that, but I don't like Dre as a character. I'm glad she's gone. She might pop up for Emmett and Keisha's wedding, who knows? But Emmett and Keisha having their moment, you know, I was kind of concerned when she got down and kneeled in front of him, but I was like, she it wasn't like a proposal type of thing. She gave him a watch, and then he kneeled and gave her the ring. So they said, will you marry me at the same time? And they both answered yes at the same time. I was like, okay. The way that they did it, it wasn't like he was standing up and the chick's kneeling down in front of a whole bunch of people like that shitty trend is nowadays, like in real life. But it was such a beautiful scene, man, where Emmett and Keisha was once again confessing their love to each other, man, because it was always supposed to be them. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and watch season 1, and she always talks about, she was talking about how she always has felt safe around him. When she said that made me think of season 3, where, you know, even her own mother tried to touch her and she just kind of like jumpy. She wasn't letting anybody get close to her. She wasn't really talking to anybody after she had gotten rescued from Ronnie, from being kidnapped all season 3. But Emmett was the only person she let hug her, like, and embrace her. He hugged her. She didn't quite hug him back, but when I saw that scene in season 3, I was like, damn, I was like, he's the only person that she really trusts to get close to her, you know, even after everything she's been through. But man, that shit was so good. Such a full circle moment with Emmett and Keisha. There's a really great scene with Jake and Reg, where, you know, they quote Juice and Reg, you know, because Jake comes to Reg's crib and he's like, yo, I want you to leave Bakari alone. And he's like, yo, you ain't his dad. What the fuck you doing? And he's like, no, that's my brother. And he's like, no, you my brother. And you know, him and Jake are going back and forth. And, you know, Jake calls him crazy, and then they do the whole Bishop and Juice thing where Reg is just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Bakari. I don't give a fuck about Trig, and I don't give a fuck about you. And when he opens up the door for Jake to leave and slams that door behind him, you can see that shit really hurt Jake. I don't know if it was Jake so much hurt because he said he didn't care about him. I'm pretty sure that was it. Or I don't know if it was Jake hurt that he let him know, like, you ain't even like my brother like that. Bakari's more of a brother to me than you'll ever be. But when Jake walks off, you can see the look on Reg's face. Like, he felt either hurt that Jake said that to him, or he felt hurt that he just told his brother he don't give a fuck about him. Because I went back and watched a lot of season 1, and while Reg is a dickhead, he is overprotective over his brother. And I remember when he came back in last season, he was like, yo, you the only thing I got in this world. And I feel like he meant that, even though his methods aren't always up to par and he's always being an asshole about it, or just being violent and aggressive, just big brother asshole mode. But I really feel like deep down he cares about his brother, and I think that shit hurt him, you know, to have to tell his brother he didn't give a fuck about him, because I know he didn't mean that shit. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of bullshit moments. Like, there's a moment where Kyla Pratt's character is like, yeah, I hooked up with Smitty, the fake ass Common character, and she's like, yeah, they're like, what, you fucking other niggas? And she's like, yeah, me and Hannibal have an understanding when he's in witness protection. And I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody cares. That whole scene where they're playing cards and Brittany's there and the shooter's there and Shawnita's there, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. But before I run out of time, y'all, Nuck, you out of there, my boy. You gone. 2 shots to the dome. Tiff took his ass out. I'm glad she did it. I thought Trig was going to grab the gun from her, but Trig played that clip that Kenya sent Lene, and Lene sent to Trig. He played that shit for her, and I love his reaction, because he played it for her, and she was like, I knew I couldn't trust that nigga. He was like, yo, what you want to do? Nut comes home, all the fucking lights is out in the crib, and he's like, Tiff, where you at? She's like, I'm upstairs. He goes upstairs in that bedroom. Trig is there with the evil eye. She's there with the evil eye. She said, this is for Rob, and she shot him twice in the fucking dome. Trig took the gun from her, and, you know, you see Nuck dead body. You ain't coming. You out of there, my boy. You done. You're done. And they start to move the body, and then the shit goes off. Now, it is a load off. I feel like I can breathe, because at least we know Nuck's not going to kill Bakari or anybody else, but that does still leave Reg. You never know what can happen in this fucking show, but Nuck is fucking gone. He is out of there, out the game. Good fucking riddance. Cortez Smith, I think that actor is. Job well done playing a villain, sir, but you had to fucking go. Had to go. I'm pretty sure it's a lot more shit I'm gonna talk about. I'll probably do a part 2 of this video, because I know it's a lot of stuff I missed, but I just wanted to get the core of the shit out the way, that that stuck with me for real. This episode was lit.